Hey guys. Alright, today I'm gonna start doing some races. First one I'm doing is Homestead Miami Speedway, and the car is BMW Z4 GT3. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you different racetracks, different techniques, and different cars. I'm driving in an automatic mode with paddle shifters. I'm not gonna use manual mode today, but I'll show you how to get into the manual mode. So I'm in iRacing. This is just a test drive, so there are not gonna be other cars here. What I'm gonna do is I will show you different races with other cars. All right, so I'm logged in. I'm gonna click on test, and here we go. We're inside. All right, here we go. So you can see there is a red line which shows you the optimal racing line. You don't always have to follow it. And green means you accelerate. Gray means you just cruise, and red obviously brake, right? And you could see how I'm gonna be doing that, right? So first lap, what I usually do is I take it slow. I get used to the track, and obviously warm up the tires, right? So iRacing in right bottom corner, you can set up different sections of what you want to see in terms of information for the car, right? You can set it up many different ways, right? So, for simplicity purposes, right now I'm not gonna get involved. We're just gonna get in and drive. And while I'm talking now, I'm kind of I'm not very focused on the car and on the track, right? Just because I'm giving a little bit of an introduction. Okay, so Miami Speedway Z4 GT3, and here we go. So this is the kind of almost the end of lap one as a warm up, and let's see. And I'll tell you a little bit about some of my favorite spots, and the reason I chose this track and this car, because I actually do race a BMW Z4, unfortunately not a GT3, and also at Miami Speedway and other racetracks, which I'm going to be showing you here. So this is something that I practice on, and this is something where your car will act very similar to the way the simulator is, right? So you shouldn't treat it like a video game, because it's not, right? This is a learning tool where you learn how the car handles, you learn its limits without having to pay the hefty price if you do end up crashing an actual car, right? So in an actual car, you always want to take it a little bit slower and much more careful, because, right, there's no reset button. Okay, lap two. So I'm gonna speed up a little bit here, and I tend to, especially in the beginning, brake a little bit more while I get the brake feel. I do trail braking a lot, because that's something that, in my experience, really works for me, especially in a front heavy biased car. So if you don't know what trail braking means, this is really where you don't only brake then turn. You brake. I downshift, so I'll show you here, and then you kind of keep braking a little bit into the turn before you let the car go and get back on the accelerator. All right, let's drive. One more thing, you want to experiment, you want to test braking zones, you want to test where you turn, where you apply the accelerator, because that's really how you learn, right? Don't worry about making mistakes, don't worry about following specific racing line all the time. That's really how you learn and how you really get to understand. You see, I'm letting it go, I'm kind of cruising, and then as I'm getting to the turn, see the car went a little unbalanced, which is okay. So I went off track, but I didn't lose control of the car, which is very, very important, right? In real life, that's probably one of the most important things. You want to have control of the car all the time. And I know you don't see my pedals here, but I'm not at full throttle as of yet, right? I kind of build up to it. I figured I was going too slow, so this is part of learning. You understand where you want to start braking. So right about here, I let go of the throttle. I start braking. I downshift. You see, I'm cruising. I tap a little bit on the brake, and I ease into. I squeeze the throttle instead of mashing it. And you want to be always careful shifting on the turn, because that's something that can definitely unbalance the car. And remember, when you're downshifting, you're also braking. Right, and here in the turn, even though I'm not following the racing line, I'm still gonna get back to it, right? And here I'm even closer, right? So I'm gonna slow down a little bit. I'm gonna downshift, and I'm getting on the accelerator, right? So on a lot of the turns, you want to make sure you accelerate. Right, you see it shows wheel damage. It's okay. We'll do a reset in a little bit. And you could see my steering wheel is sideways. So this is something that's important to understand. And in real life, that would be real life damage, and obviously control and everything gets compromised. So we'll just finish this lap, and see, the car is already losing control just because of that wheel damage. That's okay. So you see, this is where learning comes in very helpful. And you can see my steering wheel is sideways, right? So it's telling me that right now on a turn it's gonna be a challenge, because that's the damaged side, and I could see you see the cars kind of skidding away. But I'm gonna finish the lap and get into the pit lane like in a real race you would, right? And obviously this here I can still push the car a little bit, but your own car you wouldn't drive like this. You would be going with your hazards real slow to make sure that you don't damage the car any further, or you don't hurt yourself or any other drivers, right? So that's safety first all the time. No matter what, you always want to walk away from the race, right? It's the worst thing that the car is still a piece of metal, right? So I like my car very much, but I'm a realist, right? A lot of things happen, and in a worst case scenario, I prefer it to be the car than me. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the pits here, and so I have my car set to kilometers an hour, which doesn't really matter, whatever you want to do, because I'll be honest with you, I've never really looked at how fast I'm going. I mainly follow the RPMs and gears, because that's really, because there are no speed limits, right? And you want to make sure you always abide by the rules and speeding on an actual racetrack, because you can be banned, right? And here obviously it's limited, but okay. So that was those couple laps, and I'll show you in a little bit the more full-on faster laps, and we can talk about it. Stay tuned, hit the subscribe button. You're gonna see a lot of races, a lot of cool cars, and we're gonna talk about a lot of techniques which apply in real world driving, not just the racetrack. Thanks for watching.